We just got done talking about the Big 12 quarterback rooms and BYU being number 3, according to longtime Oklahoman writer Barry Tramel, who is joining us now. He's done a fantastic job specializing in Big 12 coverage. In fact, Barry, I mentioned before we went to the break that you are one of our favorites because you were one of the first writers in Big 12 country to go public and say BYU belongs in the Big 12. So thank you as we welcome you back to the show.
Well, I appreciate it, and we're closing in on it. It's been a long journey. I know a lot longer for the good people of Utah than for me, but yeah, I was on the BYU bandwagon a long time ago. I never could, when I first learned about Brigham Young, I guess I was a teenager in the 70s, I kept thinking, why isn't BYU in a major conference? And of course, now I know all the reasons. Still don't agree with them, but it's coming soon. And let's see, I'll be coming to Provo in November. Does Brigham Young play in Stillwater in October? Is that no Thanksgiving weekend?
Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll get back-to-back Brigham Young games with our state teams, and so really looking forward to it.
Brett Yormark got your personal travel requests, and it's going to be fun to have you in Provo November 18th and then on the 25th there in Stillwater, which will be awesome. Certainly, we're interested in an article you put out 2 days ago about the quarterback situations in the Big 12. It's fun. Frankly, Barry, it's fun to plug back into a league and just be like, oh, yeah, let's look around and get to know these people. We're in a new neighborhood now. You put BYU as the third best quarterback situation in the league. Why did you have the Cougars so high there?
Well, I'm just really high on Keaton Slovis, a guy with that much experience, that much success. He's done it at, you guys just mentioned it, 2 different Power 5 leagues. He was really good at Southern Cal. They shoved him aside just to get the nation's best quarterback, which, is no crime against him. And then I thought he played pretty well at Pitt in a difficult situation. It's a guy that he's completed 66% of his career passes, almost 10,000 yards passing. That's a lot of yards. And more than 2-to-1 TD to interception ratio, which is not fantastic, but is pretty good. I don't know that he's a superstar, but I think he's a pretty good quarterback, and he's coming into a league that is not really deep in established quarterbacks. So I think Brigham Young's in a pretty good situation.
Well, with that in mind, Barry, and Keaton Slovis being somewhat of a proven commodity, and you certainly are high on him, how do you think BYU will fare overall as a team in year 1 of Big 12 football play?
Well, I mean, I don't really know the Brigham Young roster like you guys do, or even where the level of talent has been the last 2 or 3 years. About all I can go by is watching a few games and looking at scores. I think BYU's got some advantages compared to the other newcomers in that they've been playing more Power 5 type teams the last several years. The schedule that Tom Holmoe's put together, a lot of Pac-12 schools, and then a lot of other good opponents as well. So I don't think the adjustment period is going to be quite as much for BYU as maybe a Cincinnati, even with its playoff experience, or Houston or Central Florida. I do think it's, as with all the other newcomers, it's unfortunate timing that I don't know that your roster is quite as good as it might have been, say, 2 years ago. So, if Brigham Young could have brought that 21 team into the Big 12 this year, we're talking maybe title contention. So, I think Brigham Young's going to be pretty good at the adjustment period. I don't know that it's going to contend for a title right off the bat. But the Big 12 is a little bit down. It's a wide open league. The last 6 teams to make the Big 12 championship game over 3 years, nobody's been twice. We've had 6 different schools in the Big 12 championship game the last 3 years, and one of them is not Texas. So lots of parity in the Big 12 as we make this transition.
Yeah, not back, as we were told. But certainly every year you expect them to be in the mix just because of pure talent. Is that parity going to be an issue later for the Big 12 when it comes to kind of national contention? Because frankly, everybody's playing for third behind the SEC and the Big 10. Yet there can be a team who pops up and makes a run. Oklahoma's certainly been the team that's represented the Big 12 the most. But there are questions, right, about the Sooners after last year under Brent Venables' first season. So it's wide open. Who are some of the top contenders in your mind going into this fall?
Well, I think you have to look at 4 teams primarily. And I think just from, pedigree and recruiting and those kinds of things is Oklahoma and Texas. Texas is actually, they get picked higher than they deserve every year. This is the one year where they might actually deserve to be
yes,
in the preseason.
I agree.
At some point, I used to say at some point they are going to win the league again. Now, this is their last year in the Big 12, so that actually might be the opposite, that they're never going to win the Big 12 again. But they actually could this year. But I also think the Purple Powers, TCU and K-State, made the Big 12 title game last year. And TCU, of course, made the national championship game. And they've got some rebuilding to do, but certainly Sonny Dykes has the formula to how to build a roster and build a championship team. And he used the portal well. I think he probably used it well again. But Kansas State's building a really good program. And they've got, Bill Snyder 2.0 and Chris Kleiman, who they just take a bunch of guys that you really don't think's that good. And after you play them, you walk back to your locker room saying, man, those guys were good. So I think K-State, TCU, Oklahoma, and Texas, and the Sooners probably have the most question marks of those. They would have to have a defensive renaissance to win the Big 12 this year. But Brent Venables may be capable of producing that. We'll see.
Barry Tramel, longtime sports analyst and columnist for the Oklahoman, is on BYU Sports Nation. Barry, the 2 teams you cover closest, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, are about to part ways, with the Sooners headed into the SEC as of July 1st, 2024. And Oklahoma State sticking around, maybe to become the dominant power in the Big 12. We will see. But those 2 teams are 2 of the biggest question marks I have based on what happened last year. Their quarterback situation is a little bit more secure with Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma, but certainly Oklahoma State's wide open. In fact, they're number 13 out of 14 teams on your quarterback list. So, Barry, let's start with Oklahoma. What is Oklahoma this year? They do have a proven commodity of sorts with Dylan Gabriel, but what are they outside of Gabriel?
Their Oklahoma's talent base has been in gradual decline since, say, the great Rose Bowl against Georgia. The national semifinal in 17. They went ahead and made the playoff in 18, made the playoff in 19, won the Big 12 in 20. But even under Lincoln Riley, it was a slow drip of talent. And, it's not precipitous. It's not, they haven't hit a Grand Canyon of talent void. But they do have to get that thing turned in the other direction. Last season, they lost a lot of close games, but the year before, they won a lot of close games. So they weren't 11-2 and 21, and they weren't 6-7 last year. They were about 9-4 both years. So I assume that's about where they are this year. The question is, can Brent Venables? He's got a bunch of defensive portal guys. We'll see if those guys can make a difference. If they can start playing some real defense, Oklahoma always finds a way to score. So if he can work defensive magic, they could be a legitimate Big 12 championship contender. He's probably a year away from that. They look to me like a 9-4 team, 3rd or 4th in the Big 12.
And quickly, Oklahoma State, what are the Cowboys right now?
Well, the offense is a mess. They've ridden offense to great heights in recent years, but they lost their 4-year quarterback, Spencer Sanders. He went to Ole Miss. They brought in Alan Bowman from Michigan. He was a 3rd-teamer at Michigan for 2 years. Before that, he was really good at Texas Tech, but often injured. So he's a total mystery. Can he be the gunslinger he was in Lubbock? Can they get a running game going? They've lost their running game. So it's a tough – the offense has to get going. I think they're going to be pretty solid on defense, but Oklahoma State has lost its offensive mojo, and they've got to get it back if they want to be a player in this new look Big 12.
Very great stuff. We're looking forward to seeing you in Provo in late November and then in Stillwater the following week.
I'll be there. Great to see you guys.
You got it. Barry Tramel, great columnist for the Oklahoman, giving us the insider details into the Sooners, the Cowboys.
One of the big voices of the Big 12.
Yes, and his expectations for BYU. And I mean, he said a lot of stuff there that we can discuss. Unfortunately, we don't have time to do it right now. We got to go.
Taking copious